Hello, everyone. Patriot 5 here with Patriot 6 on the first Monday of the year, 2026. Happy New Year, everyone. No one's here, so I'm going to go ahead and just say the pledge and play the music and then come back and get the show started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt as love is land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm ready to stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. Next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Hello, Bill. Hello, Janet. Hello, Jeffrey. Hello, Tony X42N. Myrna, good to see you here. You didn't forget about the show, Myrna. We're just coming on. I think I'm going to have to send Myrna multiple messages a day so she quits forgetting us. But anyway, if I didn't mention you, hey, Lynn, J4Q5P, Tony, I think I've already mentioned you. Okay. Anyway, I want to talk to the kids before I get going. Guys, I don't have much. There's not much out there. But I have some. And you know me, I can always make up stories.
I sent TNT Tony today. Did you get it?
I might have. I don't know. So anyway, Jimmy, I hope you're using this new year. And it's going to be your best new year for a long, long time. We all need to have a great start. You know, me, nothing special for me, but nothing really bad either, you know. So just be in there and be a kid. Get outside and do something. Get away from your computer. Get away from your cell phone. Get away from your tablet. And I say this to all the kids, be kids. My goodness, you're going to be going back to school here. I think they start here Tuesday or Wednesday for my grandkids. Get out and do that, Patriot 11. I've talked to Grandma, and she said that you had a great Christmas and you was excited about the new year. And, she's looking forward to the spring where she's going to get to see you. I don't think Grandma likes winter anymore. She doesn't get to see her boy. Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot White Earp, Small Hank, he's at his martial arts. He doesn't call it karate. I've always said karate's better, but what do I know, right? But you boys, I hope you had a great Christmas and a great New Year. Unfortunately, you got to go back to school. Patriot Prince is our queen, and Patriot Hunter, I've kind of missed you guys. I haven't seen Grandma post anything for a while. She's probably still whirling from that Ohio State loss. Boy, I tell you, I'm not going to go into it here, but they did lose. We'll talk about that in a while. Patriot Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie are 4 Bs. I know with Grandpa John, you guys had a great Christmas and a happy New Year. And Patriot, Little Leona and Little Elan. I figured you guys, you two kids' ages, you're right there where it's everything because you're the same age as little Kira, my granddaughter, and I could see the difference just in 1 year. She's 3 years old. This is her 3rd Christmas, but this is really the first one we got to, the second one we got to. If you remember her first one, she was in a hospital up in Chicago, we were just hoping then that someday she was coming home. And it's a shame that things happen like this, but it's all because of the bad people. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Patriot Super Gymnast. I swear every time I underestimate you a little bit, you just prove to me that I'm wrong. Hey, John Holiday, Bill Woods. So, when I say that about Patriots Super Gymnast, now she's into volleyball. And I not only bought her 1 volleyball for Christmas, I bought her 2 because the second one was the Loving Grandpa one, the one that she'll put up on her dresser as a trophy. Also got her a bag. And, it's so hard to buy things for kids nowadays. It really is. And I ordered a bag, and she just absolutely fell in love with it. I don't know if it was that it was a great bag or she now had something to carry her equipment in and she wasn't brown bagging it. But Patriot 7, we're teasing him now that he's the golden boy, because he had a great season in baseball and he had a great season in football. Now he's getting ready to start basketball on Sundays coming up. It's always something with that family. They keep me running, Patriot Small Hank, I mentioned it. He's at martial arts practice today. He left it before 8 o'clock and had been running around all over with his mother and little sister, little Kira, who's had a couple doctor's appointments today. And then the little monkey. I tell you, when I go over there now, she got to a point where she was kind of ignoring Grandpa. And one day something happened and I said something. You hurt my feelings. Well, she doesn't hurt them anymore. She always makes sure that she's the first one to give me a hug when I get there and the last one to give me a hug when I start to leave. And, people asked me one day, why do you do a kids session? And I said, why not? Because, see, the reason I do the patriotism movement, guys, I'm realistic enough to realize, and the kids session is officially now over. Remember, kids, this show is not meant for you. You can watch it under permission from your grandparents, parents, or legal guardians. And the music that we played tonight is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it. That being said, yes, without these special things that we're going to be getting into, what do we got? A lot of nothing. You know, at my age, at Ron's age, we understand where we're looking and we accept it. But with these special things, how many more can we have? And that's the whole thing. And even if we don't get on these special beds, and I'm only saying that as just to say something, because I have 100% confidence we will. Well, maybe 99.9. But even if we don't get on them, one of the reasons I want to involve the kids is if we can get the kids, Myrna, if we can get the kids, Bill Woods, if we can get the kids, Janet, to have the beliefs that we have. Because they're not going to learn it from their parents, their aunts and uncles, because that ship has sailed. That's a place that maybe 10 out of every 100 would want to make America great again. The other 90, all they want is, how much money can I make? I was talking to a young man the other day, and he said, you know, if I could just get $10 million, maybe just 5, but if I could get 10, I could live the rest of my life really happy. He says, I don't have to go out and buy the $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 new car, truck, or whatever. I can keep driving things like I drive, you know, maybe 3 and 4 years old. When they start to go bad, I get them fixed until I'm putting too much money into them. But if I could take that $5 or $10 million and invest it, and just live off the interest, I could live very well. Maybe I could go out and buy and make some land and make a lot of garages, you know, the kind that you rent out, and live off of that income. And then I could have enough money to put up for my wife and my kids, so they'll be always taken care of. I said, oh, you mean so they can go invest all of their money just investing and never doing anything? And as I sit there and I listen to this young man speak to me, his plans of he got this, I'm thinking, in a way, I hope he doesn't get anything from the quantum financial system. Because that's not how this system is set up to work. And I'm thinking, I've already told you, young man, this is probably about what you're going to get. And nobody knows. I know there was once that the senior citizens was going to get about 17 to 18 million. If he was in the age group of like 40 to 59, you was going to get maybe about 10 or 12 million. If you was younger, you was going to get even less than the 10 or 12, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, somewhere in there. But nobody really knows. And I'm thinking, you might not get yours. Well, why not? I deserve it like everybody else, because you don't want to listen. You don't want to pay attention, and they don't. They want people to live. Why do you worry about 100 years from now if you get on a special bid, if all you're going to do is put everything into this stock market, which may not even be here anymore? And he looked at me and said, you're crazy. It'll always be here. I said, you know, young man, I said, since I've been doing this and I've talked to you on a few occasions, you have been very negative about me being crazy. So instead of me being crazy today and you being right that the only thing we can do is put it in a stock market and live off of the money you make. And I'm going a different direction because I'm going the way that the hat wants us to go. I'm going the way that the world wants us to go. Why are we going out there and worrying about things if everybody's just going to live like hermits anyway? No, they want you to work maybe still 5 days, but maybe only 5 hours a day, maybe 6 hours. Because, there's going to be some, like them things that we go work to when we're sick. Now, I understand that them ain't going to be needed when these special beds come in. But yes, they are. I think these places that we go now when we get really sick, I think they're still going to be needed for at least, I'd say 10 to 20 more years. And the reason I say this is because not everybody is going to jump on the wagon train. Not everybody is going to say, "Oh, yeah, I like that. We're going to do this." No. People are going to say, "No, I want to be treated by a doctor." Now, they might know it, that they're still going to get treated in ways that is going to help them feel really, really great. But what are they called? People who are always sick. Hypochondriacs, right? Yeah, they might be a hypochondriac. Well, there's always something. They need to have that week stay in a hospital. There's going to be some people who's going to say, "Oh, my husband's gone. I don't want to live another 100 or 200 years without him." Or my wife is gone. Or, think different situations. So you're going to have them until eventually, like the magic dragon, pop the magic dragon, they're gone. Hey, Tommy. But anyway, that's my opinion in doing research, which you guys do a lot for me. That's kind of how I feel. That's the way it is. Oh, someone like me, someone like Ron, someone like Janet, someone like Bill Woods, someone, like Jeffrey, man, beep, bop, we're in there. Now about these special beds, I want to talk a little bit. Because, see, about these special beds, there's a few things going on. Here's one of the things. There are 18,000 special bed centers in the U.S. Each center has 2 special beds in it. There are 8,000 special beds that are mobile to treat those homebound. All special beds and special bed centers will roll out on the 9th or 10th of March. Now, they'll roll out on the 9th or 10th of March. Why? And if they're going to roll on the 9th or 10th of March, and see, guys, I want to talk about someone that we all support, believe in. And he just did something with our U.S. to take down another country's leader. And I want to talk about that in a minute. But see, there's a man that came out and did live. He did videos that the special beds would be released to the world on the 1st of January in the year of 2026. Well, I'm looking at my watch, and my watch says it's the 5th of January of the year 2026. And to my knowledge, they have not been released. Now, I was listening to Sky Prince, or whatever she calls herself. I don't know. Who knows? With all of her NDAs and all of her names, I just look for the blonde hair with the short, blonde woman with the short hair and the ranch that she was able to buy because of all the money she made off all the people through all of this time. And she said that she's seen the signed document, the official signed document, and it was going to take effect the 2nd of April. I agree, Tony. Tony says, Ralph, they should invent a pill that you could take and help your health get better. That would be an amazing thing. They can, Tony, you're onto something there, because stop and think about it. Whenever we get sick, they just give us a pill. So you're not going to have trouble getting people to take pills. But here's the deal, Tony. You get the people to go on the beds. And even the hypochondriac said, oh, I'm still sick. I'm still sick. All you got to do is just give them a sugar pill. You take this once a day and you'll feel fine. This is your magic moment, your magic pill. Don't you agree? I mean, God, they sold people on something called, I can't say it, but it starts here. I'm seeing a lot. You fill in. It starts with it's a 5-letter word. It starts with a C, ends with a D, and the third letter is a V. A C, third letter is a V, and it ends in a D. You fill in the blanks of what they got away for. Look at the money that they made. Look at the people. Do you know I go into the stores and there's still people wearing the mask? And I looked at one the other day and I said, ma'am, are you not feeling well? She said, I feel great, honey. And I go, why are you wearing a mask? Oh, honey, I don't want to get people sick because, of that sickness. I said, what sickness? Way back there in that 1 year that everybody had to wear them. I said, I didn't. Honey, you did. You had to. It was the law. I said, ma'am, they can't make a law to make you wear something over your face. You know what you're doing, ma'am? And she said, what? I said, you're making yourself sick. She said, what do you mean I'm making myself sick? You're wearing a mask, and every time you breathe out and then you breathe in, you're sucking everything right back in. It's hitting the mask and coming right back into you. Only thing in a dirty form with germs, because there's germs on your mask. She said, honey, my husband said the same thing to me. I said, well, you know what? You go home tonight and you give your husband a big kiss and tell him, winner, winner, he should get a chicken dinner. Because he's right. There was never nothing such as that thing. Oh, yeah, honey, so many people got sick. I said, okay, now hold on a second. I took my phone and went, and I said, look at this. So what's that? I said, oh, that year the year before this happened? Yeah. This is how many people left our world because of the common flu or influenza. She goes, that's a lot. But let's go to the next year when the reason you put the mask on, that you had to put it on or they was going to throw you in jail. Are you kidding me? You fell for that? I said, I lost a doctor because I wouldn't fall for it. I went into his office and said, you got to wear a mask. I said, no, I don't. He said, you got to get a shot. I said, no, I don't. He said, you got to get a new doctor. I said, yes, I do. But anyway, I take out and I come back to the year that all this happened, guys. I said, look at this. She said, what's that? I said, that's how many people died the next year when this great sickness came out. She said, wait a minute. Can you go back to the first one? I go back to the first one. There was over 1.5 million or something like that. I don't remember the numbers that died of them two sicknesses a year before. And then when that sickness came out, there was only this many died. 100% correct. I said, does it sound fishy to you? I've been wearing this mask for all of this time because I was afraid of getting someone sick. And now you're telling me that it was a made-up thing? I say, yeah, that's kind of what I'm telling you. I said, did you even go as far as to get the shot? Oh no, my husband wouldn't allow that. I said he wouldn't allow that, but he allows you to wear a mask 5 years later. And she goes, well, he keeps telling me the same thing you're telling me. I said, no, so if people can come to you and tell you and show you a statistic, look at it. Over 1.5 million people the year before. The next year, not even 10,000. But now, the year that there's not even 10,000, which we dropped over 1.5 million people in 1 year that now was living, but now they was going because of this. Just do any research. It was man-made. It was to scare everybody. You know how many people died that year because they were so scared and they just died of I would say broken heart, but it was more than that. And she goes, how do you know so much? And I said, because I have Myrna, Janet, Bill Woods, and Jeffrey, and Ron. And I probably named 50 people from this show. There's Golden Arrow there, and John, little Jimmy. I said, ma'am, I have kids that are doing this for me. All I do is I pass on the information. And she goes, wow. You just got to talk to them, guys. You got to talk to them. I believe in the beds. I really do, even though I'm upset about them because
She's been on by now.
We should have been on them. As I told you, a friend of mine that I've known since she was 5 years old. She just died at the age of 69 from a sickness that should have been taken care of her. My brother-in-law died a little over 1.5 years ago. What happened around Maduro is not a headline event. It's a signal event. When a figure like that is removed from the board, the objective is never the man himself. The objective is the infrastructure that collapses. Once the man is gone, Venezuela was never just a country in crisis. It was a vault, a junction point, a financial and biological rally hidden in plain sight since the Cold War years. The real extraction was data, servers buried far from the public oversight, energy ledgers tried to oil shells that never appeared in official reports, transfer routes connecting intelligent budgets, cartel logistics, and offshore foundations that fed conflicts far beyond South America. What the public was told were refugee flows and sanctions failures were in reality controlled quarters for money, people, and leverage. This is why military assets move quietly and why media narratives arrived late. The tunnels under Caracas were built for the escape. They were built for continuity, and continuity just broke. Temp's role in this, please, is symbolic asset seizures with the key PDVSA, all in capital letters. It is not about oil anymore. It's about training, tracing the money, chained upward, not outward. Every frozen account forces another name to surface. Every surface name tightens the circle around those who throughout geography would protect them. Watch what happens next, not in Caracas, but in boardrooms, foundations, and quiet resignations that will be called coincidences. Some will disappear from public view. Others will suddenly be found. The The pattern is already visible if you know where to look. This is not the end of operation. It's the moment oxygen was cut. Here's something about the special beds also. Trauma doesn't stay in the mind. It gets coded into your frequency. Every shock, every moment of stress, every heartbreak leaves vibrational imprint inside the nervous system. It bends your energy, disrupts your natural rhythm, and quietly blocks the body ability to heal. But when the frequency is reset, the imprint begins to dissolve. Cells remember their original state. The nervous system releases and relaxes, and the body starts to regenerate on its own. So, okay. I read that. Okay, now let me see. I know I got some other thing. This is from Margot Savior, January 5th, 2026. Notes by Junior Ducat. Tony has been waiting since 5 a.m. to do this call. A short update. Not much has changed since Saturday. He heard that Venezuela had been the holdup and that they have now been put back in the basket. The numbers are better than he was told. The banks are ready to go. Tomorrow, Tony is hearing. The IMF and UN is saying tomorrow. However, the agency guides saying the 16th, the contractors in Iraq all signed a new contract today. Switzerland effective February 1 with a new rate and an increase of over $1. The rate is different for different countries, but all is increased by over $1. Banks are saying it's happening, and there are more reports every day. Appointments tomorrow. Banks are setting accounts. The large accounts have to be funded within 21 days. Syria started changing their money and set a limit of how much people can change each day. There is no rate change yet. A member stated rates he's about to get at the bank by next week. This came forwarded from Modi, but here's what this member has stated, that the rates he's been stated he will get at the bank next week. VND at 1140, and he said he has over 20.5 million of them. Well, let's face it, if you only got a million of them, that's a pretty good investment. VND is at 1140. No, I read that. Dinar at 28. Now, the VND is one that excites me because me and Ron, we just happen to have a few of them. The dinar, we have some, but that's at $28 and will still bring us several $1 million of what we have. Venezuela is at 35 cents, but be aware Venezuela is at 35 cents and they just said everything will raise at least $1. Now, I had one of our people in the group. I'm going back to try to find who it was.
Donnie said.
Karen sent me a message today and said, Ralph, now that this is done with in the country, she thinks that Bolivar is going to be a great investment. How would I go about getting some? Well, Karen, as I said, send me an email, and that message that I sent you, I will send you where all you have to click on it, because I just yesterday, and Ron can contest to this, I just talked to Ronnie yesterday, and I got a message that I could go into this place, and for $22, and I believe it was 88 cents, I can get 25 $1 million Boulevard. Now, had we been a little bit quicker and I acted a little bit quicker if I wanted to do it, they actually had one there that for $24.95, I could have got 100 $1 million notes. But when I clicked on that one, I was going to send that one to Karen also. They said that they don't no longer have that sale. But just stop and think about it. If you go out and you spend $25, a little less, $22 and something. I don't know if they're shipping and handling. But let's just say you pay $25 and you get 25 $1 million notes. Even if you only get 18 cents per note, that means that each one of them 25 you get is worth $180,000 times 25. You do the math. Times 20 would be 3.6 million. So it would be $4 million for a $20 investment. Now, if you want to go up and you want to get more, you can get a second thing of them and you get 50. And each time you go up, like if you buy 2 sets, it goes down in price.
You're not a financial advisor.
If you go and you buy 5, they go down to $20.66, which after everything might be $110, $115 for 125. Say 125 for 125. 25 is going to bring you 4 million. 125 is going to bring you 5 times that. $20 million for a $125 investment. And guys, I am not a financial advisor. I am not an expert on foreign currency. I'm just someone sitting here showing you options because it was asked of me by one of our people. So Karen, you're supposed to be on the show tonight. Email me at my email, solavei2454@gmail.com. Yes, as a matter of fact, right here I have the thing. I know you guys can't see it, but it says Venezuela $1 million Boulevard times 25 in a bundle, $22.22. If you buy a second one, I can't see it. I know it's less. If you buy a third one, it's $20.89. A fourth one is $20.44. And if you buy 5 of them, they come to $20.44, which is $122.20. $102.22. I'm sorry. They also say they have 10 available. If you, I don't know. I'm just telling you what it is, and I'm trying to help the people who want help. Do you need to do it? Nope. You guys are going to get your money anyway. I've read many, many times here recently. We're going to get to a point where money is going to not matter at all. You'll go into a store and you'll just get whatever you want. I did see something, guys, and I shared it with many people. And I do want to share about this man that I felt sorry for the man. I really did. Because the picture I saw where they captured him, he was laying in bed with his wife. And I don't think they wanted to take the picture that they did But the picture they do, he's laying in bed with his arm around his wife in the morning, sleeping when they captured him. And he had his hand where man likes to have his hand on his when he's with his wife. Well, not me. I didn't like to have mine there. Or she didn't like to have it. You know what I mean? But anyway, we all remember Bob Barker, Papa G. VND here also. I did give a price for what VND was supposed to be, didn't I? But anyway, 11.45 for VND is what they're saying. But anyway, you guys remember the show, The Price is Right? I got any thumbs up for The Price is Right and Bob Barker? Because if I do, I want to play something that I think is kind of funny, kind of cute. Yeah, VND is 11.40. Dinar is 28, is what they're saying. I need to find out where I'm at here. Diane, I got to go back. Anyway, Bob Barker did a Price is Right for Mandura. Here you go.
And folks, we have a winner. You effed around and found out. An all expenses paid one-way trip to the United States, complete with round-the-clock security detail and complimentary accommodations at a top federal facility. And folks, we have a
I thought you'd like that. I did. Matter of fact, as I was watching it last night, I started laughing, and Ron goes, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "Oh, you got to see this." And I sent it over. Now, here's some more notes that was sent in from TNT Tony by Patriot Diane with 2 N's. This is from Carpathia on January 5th, 2026 at 6:25 p.m. TNT Tony, January 5th, 2026, notes from Ginger Ducat. Tony has been waiting since 5 a.m. I think I read that, but I'll read it again. I don't think I read all of it, did I? Never mind, guys. I've already read that. Ron just told me Diane sent something over, and I've already read it.
Yeah, and then I just sent it over to you.
And then he just sent it over. Oh, that was from Karen saying she'd watching tonight. Oh my God. I got to go in and watch videos that Linda sent. She sent me about 20 videos. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Venezuela, guys. I want to talk a little bit about them because Patriot Savior got me to go and open an account on TikTok. Lady Anita, Bill Wright. I just keep people guessing. Okay. Anyway, she got me to open up an account, and then other guys in our group have them so they can send me messages there, or if they send me messages and videos, I can actually open them. See, if you don't have a TikTok account, you can't open their videos. So I went there, and I enjoy going and watching their videos that people make up. And I'm telling you, some of them are stupid. You know, I'm going to show you the stupidity of a certain generation. And it's a generation, and I'm not going to call them stupid. I'm just going to call them, they like to shoot their mouths off before they do what they need to do. And I was on there last night and I was watching. And I'm watching these young kids, I'd say 20 to 24, 25 years old, that the hat broke the law when he went in and arrested this man. And they're going on and on and on and on and on. And they have brought so much turmoil to this country. The hat has brought so much turmoil. He deserves to be impeached right now. Well, you know, right then he's a freaking Democrat. I have never seen a group of people use the word impeach. I have 2 peach trees that had so many peaches on it, and I didn't impeach them as much as they try to impeach the hat. And they have no backing. They have no moral support. They have nothing. They're just stupid, 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 stupid people. And that's what they are. And these young guys get on there and they go, prove me that he didn't put this country in turmoil. And I go, he's not serious. And I go on and I said, before I prove to you that this country isn't in turmoil, can you tell me where you're getting your information that you're saying they are? Because what was happened was done by that hat, and everything that man does is 100% stupidly wrong. I said, really? He said, yes, sir. I said, okay, for you and your 1,000 people you got on your show tonight, that's all against the hat. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the turmoil this country's in. And I played a video for him. It was right there on TikTok. I just swung it on over. And in the video, it says, Venezuelan people celebrating, dancing in the street. Guys, I'm a Chicago White Sox fan. In the state of Illinois, there is a lot of Chicago Cubs fans. And since the year 2005 till now, each team has won 1 World Series. A Chicago Bulls fan, a Chicago Bears fan. We've watched NBA championships. We've watched Super Bowls. A Chicago Blackhawk fan, where for about a 10-year period, I think they won 3 or 4 Stanley Cups. I understand huge celebrations because they can say all they want about New York, New York, and he can sing his song, but there ain't no kind of town like Chicago when they're celebrating. The people in Venezuela, you could take every celebration of every Chicago team that I just talked to you about, put them together, and it wouldn't be a tip of the iceberg for the way these people are celebrating. They had people interviewing, jumping up and down. They had people hugging and kissing. They're the happiest people in the world, because not only did that do what it did for the world, it spelled the word FREEDOM for this country. And I played 2 videos like this for this man. I said, so could you please tell me, when these people are standing up there, I played 5 interviews of these people, and they're talking, but they're having to translate it, on the thing. But in the translation, we've never been happy in our life. We can go to bed safe knowing that we're not going to wake up. We're not going to wake up not safe. We can do this and we can do this and we can do this. We can be out here in the street. When he was in charge of us, if we walked out in the street and he's seen us, he would execute us. They are having the time of their life. Every one of them is thanking the hat and the United States of America for doing this, because now they know they get to live in peace and harmony. And as I'm talking in my letter that I wrote Julia last night, I'm telling her about these things. And I said, the same thing is about ready to happen to your country. Why? Because they got rid of the scum buckets. You're going to understand and see. Julia opened her eyes, and about 2 weeks ago, she wrote me a letter and she said, Honey Ralph. Yeah, I'm her Honey Ralph. She says, Honey Ralph. She says, I've been watching the news all week, and they finally started to tell the truth that we have so many people in our government that have been lying to us, cheating us, doing ungodly things with children. Why would these people do that? And in my next letter, I never responded to her about that. And she come back and she says, why is it you didn't respond? Because you've been telling me this for the last 5 years, and I finally opened my eyes. And that's all it takes, guys, is for them to finally open their eyes. But these videos on TikTok, you want to talk about a platform that needs to be shut down, taken down, and whatever. They either need to do that or they need to get someone to get in there and be a police to this. These people coming on there, they cause so much damage. You try to get your vibrations up and they cause so much damage to the people. But you know what? We may not see exactly what we want to see. When I said, why isn't the hat coming out? And on the 1st of January saying, okay, I missed my date, guy. It's going to be this day now. Why isn't he come and talk? He had no trouble coming and talking to us when he was running for the president. Now all of a sudden he's like a mouse in a church, or I'd like to say something else in a church, but this is kids can watch under the discretion of their parents, legal guardians. Oh, by the way, the Price is Right show, I do not have legal rights to play that. I did it for an entertainment purpose only.
Yeah.
You're going to bed, Janet? You're leaving me early? If you are, good night. Anyway, guys, I have to do something. I have to sing a little song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Alicia. Happy birthday to you. That's my niece, Alicia. She'll never watch one of my shows. She don't believe what I'm doing, but she's also my goddaughter. Her birthday was the 3rd. And it was a very sad day for me because I wanted to do something on Facebook with me and her, a picture of me and her. And I realized I don't have a picture of me and her. I used to. She used to have a bunch of them. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy helping people, making people look and see what's going on in the world. I'm happy working with God and my Savior, his son, Jesus Christ. You know, I promise them if I can just touch one person, and, you know, on a Monday night, we got 89 people on here. You know what's funny? There's a lot of shows won't even start unless they get 250 or 300 people. But you know what's even more funnier about that? Them shows that won't start unless they have that many on there, they're not around anymore. Well, some of them died or supposedly died. You know, we just don't know who's alive and who's dead. I don't know. Who do I believe? I believe John Fitzgerald Kennedy is. I believe Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens. And this is just my beliefs, guys. It's just, maybe I just believe it because I want it to be true. Maybe I want Michael Jackson and Kobe Bryant to come back. Maybe I want, you know, people like the guy that said his mama was like a box of chocolates. Maybe I want him to be gone. Maybe I want Big Mike and his. I can't even go there, guys. I almost posted a picture today. If I would have on Telegram, I'd have brought the house down, but it was about Big Mike's husband. I can't even go there. I'm sorry. If I was to tell you what that video was, I would go to hell. And I do not want to spend eternity with them people. Having to get rid of them the way we're doing now has been long enough. You know, there was a girl named Monica. She wasn't the best looking girl. She had a boyfriend. And they say her boyfriend was probably the #1 visitor to that island. And you know, I was watching Tessie Trek the other night. Not Tessie Trek. The good-looking one. Patriot Princess. And I was watching her. She was doing something with an ex, and she brought it into that island of his. And there's also, you know, the Claytons that happen to own their own. Come on, guys. How does anybody have enough money to buy an island on a president's salary? When I think of that, I kind of don't want to sit down because it kind of hurts, because I figure that's where they've been sticking it to us. Think about it. These people are going out And boy, I tell you, you want to talk about people. John, who else we got? Clint Home, Glatomi or whatever. Janet, everything is going to.
Janet went to bed.
I know everything's good because Janet just told us everything is going to be all right.
Yes, that's
Myrna,
right.
everybody that's here. We've been doing this a long time. But I think 2026 is going to be our year. And I talk about Julia and her wanting to come be here with me. She has a friend that wants to come over. Her mom wants to come over. Man, I get it all. 2 kids. Because they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Every time I start to have a bad day, I think about the people in her country. The kids that don't know what it's like to go out and play. Today's letter from Julia, she said, oh, I didn't really even get to talk to Masha today. It's such a nice day here. She took the kids out for a walk. A walk? I can't remember the last time they told me they safely went for a walk in that country. Doesn't matter what the weather is here, does it, John or Janet or Larry or Papa G? Doesn't matter what the weather is here. I can walk out Ron's front door right now and go for a walk anytime I want. Matter of fact, I used to have the nickname here in Buckingham. I was the walking man because I would walk all the time. I was the walking man, and Ron used to be called the running man. Ron used to go out every day and would run at least 5 miles, if not more, every day. But you know what? We got old. But you know what? We're going to be doing that again. Huh? Ron says not just old, we got lazy too. I still walk. I've cut it down a little bit because I think I was overdoing it, but I still walk a lot. Well, today so far I've walked over 14,000 steps. But it is what it is, and wow. Let me go here and check something out. I didn't realize I'd been on this long. I must have been talking a lot.
Yeah. I stayed awake through it all, too.
Yeah, and amazingly, Ron stayed awake. So let's see what Judy's got to say today. This is Restored Republic, the 5th of January, 2026. I'm just having a hard time saying 2026. She says to be prepared, dollar collapses, market meltdown, banks runs, blackout. 60 U.S. senators to be charged with laundering billions of U.S. taxpayer dollars and taking millions more for selling their influence to protect foreign criminal regimes, drug cartels, and T with a lot of blanks, G rings. Peacemakers begin within our hearts. If we practice peacemaking within ourselves and our families, peace will naturally spread our communities, nations, and world. Judy note, the New Year's Day, January 1, 2026 arrest of Venezuelan President Maduro and the company H blank D, the intel of the century, mainly from Venezuela. Intel Chief Hugo Carvalho Barrios. Carvalho G was a 3-star general and former chief military intelligence under Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro. Now U.S. custody. He recently pleaded guilty to narco-terrorism and revealing, this is the main thing, guys. He will expose the entire drug cartel and human, you know what, network from South America to our Senate floor. As the song says, he has it all. He is probably the most powerful person out there. I guarantee you there will be imitators of him all over because They're not going to let anybody get close to this man. He is the one that's going to bring this world to where we need it to be. They talk more about him. In addition to Maduro's arrest, New Year's Day, January 1, 2026, also saw the launch of gold asset-backed quantum financial system, QFS, the greatest wealth transfer in human history. The QFS having revalued currency of over 200 countries and marking the end of the old fiat financial. Big N, Big G protocols were now actively enforcing universal debt forgiveness, wiping clean mortgages, credit card, and all that. Now, I keep reading this. Someplace shouldn't there be something? When I was in school and having the last name Anderson, man, they always picked on the alphabet people first. I was an A, so I was always the first one that had to go. When Ron and Russ got drafted into the military, that was a main thing. The reason they got drafted, they got old enough and their last name began with A. But now all of a sudden, people who just want to talk about this is in effect. Oh, I know someone. You know what? Quit telling us you know someone who's got their debt paid off. Let's see it. You can make videos. You can do everything else. But for some reason, we never can get a video of someone. I mean, Golden Arrow, John, Beth Shaw, Janet, Myrna, Tony, all of you guys that are here, Ron, all you guys are here. If you got your debt paid off, wouldn't you be dancing in the street? Wouldn't you be letting everyone know? Man, I would be. Full alerts for the redemption centers that we will be going very soon. Most people are saying it's imminent that we go this week, but we don't want to get our hopes up because, there's still some people that haven't made enough money. So, I'm just joking. The emergency broadcast system stood poised for full activation in early January. Sources say confirm the 10 days of darkness may commence imminently, during which communications could temporarily cease. See, that's what they're all saying now. They're going to temporarily cease. Yeah. I've always questioned the fact, blind owl. I've always questioned the fact that they said that communication darkness would be 10 days and that. I've always questioned the fact that they said that what's happened to our beautiful children would be televised. I don't want to see it. Myrna, to you. Beth Shaw, to you. Tony. Let's go down here. Vicky Soros, Blind Owl. Do you really want to see what they did to them children? I don't. Do I want to see what they're going to do to some of these others? To an extent. Do I want to sit there for 8 hours and watch them, as Clint Eastwood said, hang them high? Or have a shocking experience? Or someone just think they're getting something that's going to happen so they don't have to wear the mask anymore? Well, they won't have to wear the mask. I think we're going to see what we need to see. I think they're going to 100% let us see what happened in 2020. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to show it. They're going to show it to billions of people all over the world. And you know what? There's still going to be them people that ends with rat are going to say, oh, he's a terrible president. How could he say something? Even though it's true, how could he do a video about us like that? That's not playing fair. We're going to have to impeach him again. That man's been impeached more than peaches grow on trees. There is, if you want to go to Judy, there is an official list of the 60 senators who received millions via the Venezuelan. Yeah, the 2 in Illinois doesn't surprise me. I would have thought there would have been more in Illinois. Looks like there's 2 in just about in a lot of states. There's Alaska, there's 1. Arizona's got 2. California, 2. Colorado 2, Connecticut 2, Delaware 1, Georgia 2, Hawaii 2, Illinois 2, Iowa 2, Kentucky 2, Louisiana 1, Maine 2, Maryland 2, Massachusetts 2, Michigan 2, Minnesota. Boy, you don't want to be a M state. No, Mississippi's only got 1. Unreal. Unreal that these people thought they were so smart that someday this wouldn't come out. I mean, especially, you got these millions of dollars, right? You got these millions and millions of dollars. Why wouldn't you take them, get to some other country and hide, change your name, and live? You could live through the special beds. You change your name, you can get on a special bed in any country and live for 200-300 years, already a multimillionaire. But they're so stupid, nothing. They go with nothing's going to stop them now. But they forgot they're playing ball. They're playing chess against the hat. With that, good night. God bless. We love you all. We'll see you on Wednesday night, if not before. Keep the vibrations high. Keep everything smooth and running. And I want to take a moment. Happy New Year to everyone. And just thank you for coming out, supporting Ron and me. And we'll see you Wednesday night. Good night. God bless.